Hello. Hello, my lovely subscribers. Hello, YouTubers. Hello out there. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. This is your girl. Oh, I missed you guys so much. Let's do the song. It's the Sussex Show. It's the Sussex Show. It's the Sussex Show. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. It's the Sussex Show. It's the Sussex Show. It's the Sussex Show. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Sometimes I get those oh-ohs mixed up. Like, you're not doing enough oh-oh. What's up? Okay, so I decided to do 2 videos. Let's start with Business Fox, which I find interesting. It's the U.S. news, but it's Business Fox, business news. And so he goes on there, and he'll sometimes have Neil Sean, or I hope I'm saying his name correctly, Neil Sean on there, and just different people from the UK media talking. And it's interesting because it's business, and it's not like entertainment. It's not like political. It's business. So I find it interesting them asking questions about, the royals. I want to, sorry, my nose is a little itch. Just a sec. I hope you lovely people had a wonderful weekend. I did. It went by so quickly, but it is what it is. Really have fun with my husband this weekend. Hung out with the baby. She went to dance classes this weekend, and I love it. So I figured out what she's going to do. Dance, gymnastics, and ice skating. So it's pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. And we watched the Super Bowl, and we were going to bet, but it got complicated. So we decided we didn't, but if we had, we would have won. Because Kansas City won. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. Hold on. But let's just catch up on what I'm going to be talking about. My intro. So basically, Harry has went home to see his father after his father has let the world know that he has cancer. So Harry got on a private jet, flew home to go see his father, like the brave little son. And when he got there, he only spent a few minutes with his father. A long trip for just a few minutes. And yeah, what was the point? It feels like whatever they said in those 15, 12, 30 minutes, however long that conversation was, probably could have just said it over the phone. I'm just saying. I don't know about y'all, but if I'm going to go home, I'm going to be visiting for a long time. Mom is going to be cooking a dish, my favorite dish, and all kinds of stuff going to be going on. A whole reunion. Not Harry. Harry did not get a family reunion. And guess who didn't go? Now, here's the thing about Americans, and I'm sure it's with Great Britain too, but since we're talking about the royal family, it is a little bit different. Now, here, if something happens in the family, if something happens, your significant other and you get there. In other words, Meghan should have got on the plane with Harry and the kids to go see King Charles. If this wasn't if all the times in the world not to go, this is the time. Great Britain is going to hate, the UK is going to hate her for the rest of their life. So she may as well get used to that. That shouldn't be a reason why she shouldn't go. And like many are saying, they brought that on themselves. I'm going to have to go get little man. He wants some treats, that's it. So, it's kind of weird that she didn't go, because it doesn't look like she's about, oh, let's have a family reunion. Let's forgive and forget. Not that. Let me make sure I'm clear. Anyone has any reason to be apologizing to anyone except for Harry and Meghan need to apologize. They got some apologies to do. But did she go? Did she support her husband? No, she told her husband what she thought. Ain't going nowhere. And like someone said, she came up with an excuse. Her favorite excuse is that she's home with the kids. You're home with the kids. That's your excuse. You're going to keep using that over and over and over again until it what? Sticks? None of those excuses make sense. The coordination excuses didn't make sense. This time it don't make sense. None of it do. Meghan just keeps continuing to show us who she is. A heartless person. And like someone said, could she had to put out a statement saying she wished them well? Even if she did, it wouldn't be genuine. It would be like fake. So it's probably a good idea that she didn't. Okay. I really enjoyed Candace the other day when she broke down Meghan and said how Harry was tricked into marrying this woman and believing that she was marrying him for, him. And it had nothing to do with him being a prince, or that she was going to get the Duchess of Sussex, or that everybody was going to know who the hell she was all of a sudden. It wasn't none of those reasons. I heard something the other day about her father, the wedding. How he was, I think it was Candace that brought it up, how he was never, ever even invited. Candace said how she made excuses as to why her father couldn't make it to the wedding and all this other stuff. Oh, I saw another thing. I saw Iman on this other channel getting mad. They were talking about countryside and racism. And Iman was trying to say all of the United Kingdom is racist. And then she tried to tell us that we all have some racism in us. I'm not doing that with Iman. She made a fool out of herself. She got up and walked out, and the lady on this, the journalist said, we're never inviting you back. It's good. It's good. They said, oh, you won't be back. Like, your behavior is ridiculous. She got up and left. She got mad because wasn't nobody on her side. No, ain't nobody believing that everybody is racist. Quit putting things in people's mouths and making them, just like Meghan and Harry. She swore up and down that Meghan was right. That she had been, that the royals had really messed up with Meghan. Years later, Iman had to apologize to Piers Morgan. Now she back on TV talking about, bias and racism and everybody's racist. And okay, one person said, the man said, you just think that everybody is. You have it within you to think that everybody is racist. It was good. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Open should the king be about his diagnosis? Because traditionally, the royals say very little about their medical condition.
Yeah, Stuart, thanks very much for having me on the show today. And certainly, I think we're seeing a far greater degree of openness from the British monarchy than we have seen in previous decades with regard to the King's health situation. This was an unusual move, I would say. But having said that, of course, the King has for many, many decades led a number of cancer charities, including Macmillan Cancer.
My answer to that question is no. I think he's given us enough information to let us know that it is cancer. And because he didn't even have to do that. I think that prying, we'll know more when he knows more. And right now they're treating it. So that's my take.
Care, for example. And so he's always been very dedicated to the defeat of cancer. And so I think that is a big part of the announcement of the King's strong role for many decades fighting against cancer. And so this announcement, I think, encourages many Britons to come forward in terms of seeking cancer diagnosis and so on. So I do think this is a very welcome move by the British monarchy. But, of course, they're not revealing the exact nature of the cancer at this stage, I think, to protect the privacy of the king.
But there's going to be all kinds of demands for more information. I mean, the press and the media in Britain, they're not going to let this rest. They're going to keep pressing. They want more and more and more. Do you think they'll ever come right out with it and say, he's got this kind of cancer and here's the treatment? Will they ever say that?
I think eventually they will have to do so because of the immense public scrutiny on this issue. And so I expect eventually there will be an announcement made. And certainly also, of course, that there are a lot of fears in Britain that the cancer may be a very, very serious form of cancer as well. So I think the palace will want to...
Excuse me, I'm choking a little bit. Excuse me. What do you think? Do you think that King Charles should tell people, or do you think that he should keep it to himself? Ooh, sorry about that. Okay, let's push through it.
Want to review further details in the coming weeks.
Prince Harry, got to talk about him. He's already on his way back to California. He travelled to London. He was only there 24 hours to visit his dad. His wife, Meghan Markle, did not make the trip at all. Will Meghan ever go back to England?
He said Meghan didn't make the trip at all. And he was saying it in a way that he was shocked. Like, she didn't even go. Like, why didn't she go? And will she ever go again? No, Meghan got what she wanted. She went over there to get what she wanted. That's what Candace said yesterday. She got what she wanted. She has no need to come back to the UK for what? This is what she's thinking. Why do I need to go back to the UK? For what? For what reason? Harry's here. The kids are here. My career and everything is here. I'm trying to make it here. And so on and so on. So why would I go back to the UK? I have no need. Didn't think about her husband. No. Cares nothing about him. That's what tells me that she doesn't love Harry. She's never there. She is never around when he needs her the most. She wasn't there during the book tour. She wasn't there during his court cases. She wasn't there when his father got his coronation. And what about this? They haven't seen those kids. They don't know what those kids look like. They haven't a clue. And someone said Harry was showing pictures and they were blurry. Word on the street. No, he wants to know, okay, why didn't she go? He's asking. She didn't show up. Was that on purpose? She didn't go to support her husband because of what reasons? There will never be a reason enough for her not to have went. There's no excuse for her behavior. There is no excuse the way she treats her husband now. Excuse me, honey. We may need to give her a breathing treatment too. Just while she's asleep. I'll do that. Moving on, she fell asleep. Now I can really get going. No, but I'm sorry, sweetheart. He's asking. That's Rock-a-Doodle. Hold on. He ate the treats up. All the treats I had in here, there ain't no treats in here, sweetie. Banana. You gonna sit up here with mommy? No, he's looking for his treats. Let's see how long he stays with me. The Fox Business journalist wants to know why did Meghan make it over there to see King Charles? Was it one of those kind of visits where he was just going to pop in and out real quick? Why go? Why go if you're going to just spend 15 minutes with someone? That was one of the quickest visits ever. But in that visit, those kids should have been right there. I think King Charles knew his son wasn't up to any good, and that's why he only spent a few minutes with him. Rocky said, I'm out of here. Sorry. A few distractions. No, he spent a few minutes with his father, and that ain't even enough to talk about what the weather was and how was the flight and this and that. It wasn't even, what did they talk about for 12 or 30 minutes that they couldn't have talked about over the phone? But the key here is that his wife, his diehard, his salt and pepper, his babe, his girl, his wife, this one, wasn't there. Didn't show up. Didn't pack Lilibet and Archie's little bags and say, come on, we gonna go visit Grandpa because you ain't seen him. Meghan didn't even look this way. She didn't even make a statement. But why would she? I'm not surprised. Let's continue.
Well, Meghan is a hugely unpopular figure in the UK. In fact, that the cancer may be a very serious form of cancer as well. So I think the palace will want to want to reveal further details in the coming weeks.
Prince Harry, got to talk about him. He's already on his way back to California. He travelled to London. He was only there 24 hours to visit his dad. His wife, Meghan Markle, did not make the trip at all. Will Meghan ever go back to England?
Well, Meghan is a hugely unpopular figure in the UK. In fact, the latest opinion poll over the weekend, I think, showed Meghan Markle with an 18% approval rating. That's less than 1 in 5 Britons have a positive view of Meghan Markle. Prince Harry's approval rating is
What does her approval rating have to do with? If I was the journalist, I would be like, wait a minute, what does that got to do with her popularity? Because it ain't even got that going on over here either. Her popularity over here in the United States is real bad. Okay? In the toilet. So, my husband is so sweet. He fixed it. He's Mr. Handyman, but I'm scared to use what he fixed because moving on. I'll tell the story on my member page if y'all care. Back to this Jezebel. He wants to know why this woman didn't come over there, and he's talking about a rating. Her popularity in the UK is a negative minus 18, or in the toilet is the worst you can think of. Of course it is. How does she dig her way out of that? I guess she doesn't. But what I do believe that what's just really sad is that King Charles has to pay for Harry's decisions, for Harry's choice. He has to pay for it. He is King Charles, and Thomas Markle don't get to see the kids. Thomas should already know that his daughter is on this side of the fence. He shouldn't be shocked, but we are. The way Meghan treats people can't be this big charitable person. This big, oh, I'm all for charity, and I'm all for mental health, and I'm all for everybody love and community. Candace said, if you don't love the people that is closest to you, how is you going to love anyone else? Like when she went to Uvalde and pretended like she cared. Her father had 2 strokes. One was around Uvalde. The first one, I was like, oh, she's going to go see him after the wedding. You know, he didn't have a stroke. Her and Harry probably run up there and see him. No. And I heard that he asked for her hand in marriage over the phone. He asked Thomas Markle, could he marry Meghan over the phone? That's that stupid stuff. But see, that's who he married. You should have said, no, we're going over there to see him. I want to see where you come from. No, not Harry. Harry just let her come in and kill, steal, and destroy.
Around 23%. So they're both deeply unpopular figures in the UK. It's significant that Harry did not spend much time on ground in London. And in fact, he didn't reach out at all to his brother, as far as we're aware.
didn't reach out to his brother. That's that stupid stuff. William changed his number. He changed it just in case he would get a call from them by accident. Let's just put it that way. Let's just change the story. Meghan changes it. Why not can we? He changed his number so that he wouldn't be getting no prank calls from them. That's what happened. And that's why Harry couldn't get in contact with his brother. He wasn't available. Did you guys see how many commentators was saying how they are finna reconcile and this is the time and all this stupid stuff? I mean, I get it. But what I don't get is that it still goes on. Usually it stops. Meghan hasn't stopped. I know you guys don't want me to remind you. Endgame.
And so I do think Harry and Meghan have embarked upon a very nasty and vicious vendetta against the royal family over the last few years. There's a lot of bad.
They have launched a vendetta. War. Just unnecessary, just disgusting behavior from these two. For what? What did their family ever do to you, Meghan, but made you globally known? And Harry, without your family's help, your girl wouldn't be in Hollywood hanging out with her so-called new A-lister friends. So why was Harry running home? To make sure he was still in the wheel? Or was he running home to make sure what? What was the point? My first reaction was, oh, okay, Harry cares about his dad. He's going to go see him. Y'all said, stop that. That's that stupid stuff. Because anytime you can go on the Oprah show, then when that wasn't done, write some stuff in a book about your family.
Blood there. It's all created, of course, by Meghan and Harry, frankly. And so what we are seeing is, unfortunately, just he didn't reach out at all to his brother, as far as we're aware. And so I do think Harry and Meghan have embarked upon a very nasty and vicious vendetta against the royal family over the last few years. There's a lot of bad blood there. It's all created, of course, by Meghan and Harry, frankly. And so what we are seeing is, unfortunately, a big split within the royal family. And the fact that Prince Harry just spent a very short time in London is a reflection, I think, of the deep-seated divide that exists between Harry and Meghan and the royal family more broadly. And certainly, I think Harry and Meghan have only themselves to blame for the situation that they are in, and they are two of them.
First, he broke it down and wanted to explain to us that Meghan and Harry have just been two menaces to the royal family. They've been mean, they've been despicable, they've been rude, they've been bullied, they've been just trashy, they've been really horrible. It takes Piers Morgan to really break it down. And then he goes on to say that the reason why that their family is not getting along with these two is because they bring it on themselves. They brought this on themselves. This ain't made up. But with the Sussex squad over there, I could just imagine them blaming Catherine. What does Catherine got to do with this? They brought this on themselves. Her reputation is in the toilet in the UK because she brought it on herself. And in the United States too, because Hollywood has spit her out. And just because they were at the Super Bowl moment, don't look at that as something going on. That ain't going on. That weak speech, and then he started to make a joke that wasn't funny and lasted way too long, and then the punchline was forget it.
Harry and Meghan and the royal family more broadly. And certainly I think Harry and Meghan have only themselves to blame for the situation they are in. And they are two of the most unpopular figures, I would say, in the UK today.
That's what this gentleman just told Business Now. This is her reputation. This is what people are saying about you. And it is not conspiracy theory. It's not people being mean. It's not the media coming after you. It's the truth. The truth. You decided to run over here and you needed some money, so you trashed the family for it and made some money off of it. And now she wants an apology so she can look like the one that it was all of their fault. No one's apologizing. They're staying far, far away, like that movie Shrek, far, far away from her. They brought this on themselves. They haven't even begun to see it. I think that we've been hearing bits and pieces, but it's over. The fascination about what they're going to do because of the stupidity of it all is always going to be there. But that money-making machine, to get people to come, to get people to pay, to get people to watch, maybe another docuseries to tell us again who you are. Tell off on yourself. Remember the curtsy? Calling it medieval? And no one thought it was funny. She was the only one in the room laughing because she's the only one that can relate to herself. She don't relate to everybody else. Can't nobody relate to that. If we could, then wouldn't she be in Hollywood a lot sooner than she was? Did she have to trick someone to become? I got one more video, y'all. Okay.
I'm with you on that. Thanks for joining us, Niall Gardner. I know we'll see more of you. Thanks a lot.
Now, joining us now is News Corp columnist Louise.
Yes, it's going right into my other video. I wonder, should I cut it off and hold on, guys? No, let's keep going.
Ladies, divine to have you on the show as always. Now, Bronte, Harry's trip to London has been front and centre of the royal family drama this week. And the question that always gets asked is, why didn't Meghan go?
Yeah, as you said, Prince Harry's attended.
There we go. Another one asking. Another person, another journalist, another news person is asking, why didn't Meghan go? It's going to be kid related. Something with the kids. She couldn't go.
in the UK during this really dramatic royal week has been a major focus. So from the outset, I'd like to say I do think Meghan made the right call in not joining that and pulling more focus with her own attendance. The official word, of course, is that she had to stay back in California. They have 2 young kids under 5. That makes a lot of sense. It's an easy reason to use. It's the same one that was used for the coronation. I think it's also a good one.
That's not a good excuse. She keeps using the kids as an excuse. But that's the excuse to go. That's the reason why you should visit. That is the reason why you need to take those kids there so they can know where they come from. But since Meghan got them tied up in California, they're going to think they came from Montecito, California. But I guess Harry's okay with them not knowing their birthplace. They were so quick to give them the titles because it was their birthright. But now you're not quick to get the kids over there to see their grandfather. Isn't that their birthright too, to see where they came from? Okay, I'm starting to believe that these kids exist. We haven't seen them. Every time we see them, they blurry. You barely can see them. Who was that? Or no, the excuses about the kids is not a good one. It doesn't hold water.
Because obviously there's a lot of tension in the family. Meghan hasn't seen most of the family members and certainly isn't on speaking terms as we understand it.
And there's something, same, different station, different everything, same conversation. Meghan ain't on speaking terms. Meghan's mad at the family. She done declared war. She's doing this and she's doing that. That's what they're saying about you in the media, Meghan. They're saying that you are a part of this royal rift and that you didn't want to go because of the kids, the excuses. No, are you running from what you've done? Now that the docuseries, the book, the end game, all the shenanigans that you do, are you running? No, you come up with an excuse as to why you can't support your husband. She was staying here to keep the kids. They are under 5. Yep, we all would have been on that plane going to see Papa, grandfather. No. Making excuses. Nope, the royal rift. We're on a different channel talking about the same thing. How Meghan has destroyed a family, broke them into pieces. I remember when I was watching something today and Harry was just so smitten by Catherine. He was like, oh, she's the sister he's never had. Like they had their own personal good relationship. And he let his wife destroy that. Destroy all his relationships. Jealous, scared they might tell him something. Leave her, man. Leave her. She ain't right. No, she got rid of them quick. I can't believe Harry allowed her to do half this stuff. I mean, he just gave it up. Go ahead, Meghan. Just do what you want to do. You can take my friends. Yep. Take my grandmother. Take my grandfather. Take my brother. Take my father. Then he go running home. It's interesting. This is what's interesting about it, is that there is a difference because Meghan's father had a stroke. He almost died. She hasn't even gave him a phone call. Harry's father, we find out that King Charles has cancer. He gets on the first plane smoking whether it's publicity or not, he goes and he sees his father. So Harry will always be that prodigal son. Can't get back in there? You got something waiting for you in Montecito. And as long as you got Montecito going on, we can't trust you.
Anyone really bar Charles. So it was a good reason to stay away, but it also made a lot of sense as to why she didn't join Harry, which also, it was a 26-hour visit for him. So I do understand that, both of them being out of the country with 2 young kids is...
No, that doesn't mean Harry had to rush back. No, he decided to rush back. It's their job to get those kids over there to see their family. It is not King Charles's responsibility to fly to... Meghan would think that too.
Difficult, but yeah, I think this one was just for Harry to go and show his support for his dad and start to mend that relationship perhaps.
How are you going to start mending a relationship when you leaving people out like the kids? Because the last time I checked, he said that, oh, do you want to see the kids? This was when the Frogmore Cottage was being removed. He's threatening his father. I guess you don't want to see the kids anymore since you're taking our home. That's some stuff Meghan would do. And I say that's some stuff Meghan would do because she's already doing it. Her father can't see them kids. She said she lost her father in this process. He gone.
And Louise, it has been noted, and I think probably a little unfairly, Meghan was out and about just hours before Harry returned from the UK. She hasn't made a public statement about the King's health. How does it look?
Well, she was sort of photographed in Montecito with a big smile on her face. Now, we don't really know why she was smiling, and I agree it could be a bit disingenuous to somehow align that to news that her father-in-law is ill and her sister-in-law is recovering from surgery. I often find with Meghan, though, that she is very up, and if she does see a photographer, she will sort of bring out that big megawatt grin, sometimes to sort of create a bit of an allure that, she's got some great news or there's some...
Looking stupid, looking like an idiot. Just looking like an idiot. That's it. Ain't nothing. What? Looking for the camera so she can turn it on. 1, 2, 3, go, Meghan.
Fantastic announcement she's about to make to keep herself sort of relevant in that way. So I guess maybe a more somber sort of demeanour in public.
And no announcements, ain't nothing going on. These small little to-dos they doing with the Super Bowl and the I'm thinking of what's his name? Kevin Costner and Navy SEALs facilities. Those little tidbit things that they running around doing.
Be more appropriate, but I guess we were kind of spared anything sort of really set up like Meghan browsing get well soon cards or buying bunches of flowers or something like that. So I think she's just sort of BAU while waiting for Harry to come home.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Now, Bronte, also big news for Harry this week, settling his phone hacking claim against the Mirror Group newspapers.
Oh, I don't care. Okay, let's hear a little bit.
Well-trodden target, the sort of evil, nasty tabloid press and the havoc they cause for his mother, the havoc they cause for him and his brother as well. But it's very interesting to see the difference in how Harry deals with the press, not liking them, and how William deals with the press, not liking them, and who can blame either of them for having a very fractious relationship with the media, given what's happened in the past. But I think Harry is on a mission to be at war with journalists, which so far hasn't really worked that well for him despite the settlements. Whereas William, of course, has found a way to work with the media, and you'll see globally the press that Kate and William get is always fantastic because they know it's part of the job. They have to work with journalists, they have to work with photographers, and they have to at least build a relationship with these sort of big media outlets, not really be at war with them. That's not a...
Well, Meghan and Harry need them too. They need them. They need them to boost their popularity. But going to war with them, like Backridge, or when she was demanding those photographs. We turn over those photographs or we're going to sue you. They said no. It wasn't a high-speed chase. That's when people started realizing that, someone's lying in the camp. But trust me, we already knew.
strategy.
No, and that's a very good observation. Now, Bronte, while the focus has been on King Charles this week and his health, obviously, the Princess of Wales has continued to recover from her surgery. How's she progressing?
I know it's hard to believe that it was all about Kate just a few weeks ago and so much has happened since then, but at least on that front we have some good news. Kate seems to be progressing really well. We already knew that her surgery was considered successful. She was in hospital for just under 2 weeks and has been recovering at Windsor, but in a new development and a really good sign, she's actually been able to leave Windsor for the first time and head to Sandringham, to their home, to her home with William and the kids for their half-term holidays. So she's still, according to her friend, she's still taking it very easy, as you can imagine, after a big...
Now, Tommy,
Okay, guys, I'm wrapping it up. Just want you to hear Tom Bauer really quick.
Put forward for Britain. I think that's what we should all hope for.
last but not least, Tom, you've written a cracking autobiography, a biography of Meghan Markle. What does this shock health scare in relation to the King do in terms of the dynamic of the relationship between Harry and his family? Does it change anything?
Well, I think it does. When Harry announced he was doing his dash across the Atlantic last Tuesday, I said many times how suspicious I was. I didn't believe he was coming really for his own father or in any way a charitable quest to be by his father's side. Now he's proved right. You can't trust the Sussexes. Everything is done in their interest, self-interest, and they have been absolutely...
Everything's done in their self-interest. Self. How does this benefit me in every way? In every way. Very strategic. But I have to say that Meghan doesn't look like the hero here. She looks like the wife that stayed back home because maybe the UK don't like her or whatever the reason is. But it's not enough for her not to go and show those kids off. I just believe that Harry was like all happy to see his father, and his father was like, where are the kids? And then he came up with some cockamaniac story that, they at home with Meghan. Nope, you could have put little Archie on the plane with you and took him with you. And you didn't have to rush back either. Just make up excuses.
poisonous in their treatment and their comments about can't trust the Sussexes. Everything is done in their interest, self-interest, and they have been absolutely poisonous in their treatment and their comments about Britain and the monarchy. Repeatedly, we've gone through it all. So
we went from talking about the business news when the gentleman was saying that Meghan and Harry had brought this stuff on themselves. Then we heard the two ladies talking about how Meghan had to stay home because of the kids, and it probably was a good idea because the UK don't like her. And now Tom Bauer is telling us that they're poison, and the things that they do is only they're self-indulgent. It's all about me. It's not about how, oh, will the kids see the grandfather? No, it is not about that. It is about me, Meghan. It is not about Harry. And Harry, for some lucky reason, was able to escape and run home real quick to see his dad. But he left some people behind. Not Meghan, those kids. Those kids are innocent in this. And Harry pops up home without them. I would have been disappointed if I was grandma or grandfather and sitting there looking at him like, okay, oof.
Many times is dreadful. And I do hope that now, when Harry was sort of, so to speak, kicked out after 30 minutes, having flown from California, not invited to stay the night in any of the many palace bedrooms, and then scuttled back to California the following morning, I think he's by now got the message. He's not welcome in Britain.
He said, let me break this down. He said his father gave him a few minutes to speak to him. And that was it. So that should tell everyone something, how that relationship is going. It's not going the best.
I just hope that and I do hope that now, when Harry was sort of, so to speak, kicked out after 30 minutes, having flown from California,
kicked out,
not invited to stay the night in any of the many palaces.
He was not invited to stay the night. We got a room for you, Harry. We have a bed for you. They have plenty of rooms, plenty of places where they could let him sleep. He was at a hotel, which speaks loud and clear that when he knew he was getting off that plane, that he wasn't staying at Daddy's house. That's shocking to me. That my mom, and look at it, even though, we know the vitriol, we know the despicableness both of them have done. But when your father don't invite you to stay over, something ain't right. I'm with Tom Bauer.
Bedrooms, sort of, so to speak,
something's
kicked
wrong.
Out after 30 minutes, having flown from California, not invited to stay the night in any of the many palace bedrooms, and then scuttled back to California the following morning. I think he's by now got the message. He's not welcome in Britain. And I just hope that when King Charles recovers, that he finally puts paid.
He is not welcome. He is not welcome. His father pretty much was explaining that to him in that 30-minute conversation. Harry, you've done some really bad things, you and your wife. And you owe everyone in this family an apology. And until you decide that that's what you want to do, then the relationships will continue to be broken. You violated our trust. You violated our privacy. And for what? For Meghan. And you are still being controlled right now because the kids aren't here. You can't get them. She won't let you. No, he can't take them kids home. I know I'm 100%, 150 billion% believe that she will not let them babies go with Harry. You'll never see her without them. You'll never see Harry at the store with the kids or, picking them up or something like that. No.
To the Sussexes, takes away their titles or whatever, but tells them very firmly they're not welcome in Britain.
So, Tom, it's your
Bedrooms, and then scuttled back to California the following morning. I think he's by now got the message. He's not welcome in Britain. And I just hope that when King Charles recovers, that he finally puts paid to the Sussexes, takes away their titles or whatever, but tells them very firmly they're not welcome in Britain.
So, Tom, it's your interpretation that Harry was snubbed by his own father in that 30-minute meeting?
Oh, absolutely. I think he volunteered to come.
The journalists act like they don't know. So you think he was snubbed for those few minutes he got to see his father? Oh, yeah. It sounded like it to me. It would be for me. If I went home and my mom only talked to me for 30 minutes and then said, look, my plane waiting, I gotta go. Well, are you coming back later? Can I meet you at the house? Can I sleep over there with y'all? No. Stay at the hotel that you're at. I heard that he asked for a room and they told him no in Windsor. Correct me if I'm wrong, my lovely subscribers. Harry has did the ultimate. He has messed up royally. And not just that it's irreversible stuff. And his brother will forgive him one day, but their relationship will never be the same. His father's relationship with Harry will never be the same because they will always wonder, will they be able to trust him? Because he's a traitor. He let his Jezebel come in there and rip his whole family apart from him. Disconnect. Total disconnect. Talking about William. He ain't got William's number. William doesn't have time for those games, running around, watching my wife, talking about my wife, and talking about my kids. Enough. You won't get close enough to see them. No. Harry can't see his niece and nephews. He's a threat. Listen to Tom.
Because he didn't want to appear in Las Vegas, not having visited his father, so to speak. But remember, he was absolutely silent for 2 weeks after the prostate revelation was publicized. He never said he wished his father well or anything. Why did he suddenly dash over? It was all in self-interest. It was a gimmick. It was to get publicity. It was to show that he was the dutiful son to his American few supporters. Don't let us in any way.
He said his few supporters. He said his American friends and his few supporters. Harry ain't got that many supporters. He doesn't. And he can blame that, like that gentleman said earlier. They have themselves to blame. That the reason why their relationships are the way they are is because of themselves. But someone ain't even trying to fix it. Because she thinks she ain't been mistreated. That's why everything around her is going so well. No, she wants us to believe that everything around her is going well. She's doing great. And when she was out smiling with that stupid grin on her face, and her father-in-law is in the hospital, just got a diagnosis, and her sister-in-law that she doesn't care about, just got out of the hospital. But she doesn't care. She's in Montecito with her 2 kids. And she'll be out again. Give her a minute. Give her something is going to happen in the next couple of days. She'll be out. They're going to be announcing something, doing something, or flipping something. She has to stay in the news. And since she hasn't been in a while, that's why she popped out.
This was because he feels any warmth towards his father, the royal family.
Yeah,
After all,
the royals is getting too much attention. Too much attention. So she had to pop out. And then Harry had to rush home. For what?
I'm sure Queen Camilla didn't see him. Prince William certainly didn't want to see him.
He running it down. Camilla didn't want to see him. For what? Is he going to apologize to her and say, oopsie daisy, I made a mistake? I mean, Harry has a list of things that he has done that is very unforgettable and unforgivable.
Hasn't got many friends left in England. He's cut them all off. He's an outsider. He's an outcast. And
he doesn't have any friends. He couldn't stay with one of his buddies. He's an outcast. He's an outcast. An outcast. He is no longer looked like Candace Owens said. We used to think that he was a nice looking bachelor, Harry, and that he had it going on. I said that too. We did, until we found the truth.
he should be firmly told not to bother to come back anymore.
Tom Bauer always
Think that this was because he feels any warmth towards his father, the royal family. After all, I'm sure Queen Camilla didn't see him. Prince William certainly didn't want to see him. He hasn't got many friends left in England. He's cut them all off. He's an outsider. He's an outcast. And he should be firmly told not to bother to come back anymore.
Tom Bauer.
Don't even come back anymore. Why? I know one reason why he shouldn't go is because he never takes the kids. So, are you purposely trying not to let me see the kids, Harry? Because you didn't bring them for the coronation, because it wasn't about your wife. You didn't bring them over here during this moment. All about them. Meghan's not going to let him. He's in one of those. Listen, guys, I hope that you enjoy it. Kisses. Love you guys so much. Have a wonderful week. Give yourselves a big hug and tell yourself that you're going to have a wonderful week. And what else I want to say? Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And we're stuck. We need to get to 4,000.